In this class, we will discuss methods for improving commutation. So in the earlier class, we know that the reason for delayed commutation is self-induced EMF of the armature coils, which will cause delay in the commutation as well as spark at the end of commutation period. So how that spark can be avoided? By avoiding reactance voltage. So how to minimize that reactance voltage? That is nothing but methods for improving commutation. So let us see those practical ways here. There are two practical ways by which commutation may be improved. These methods are: first one, resistance commutation; second one, EMF commutation. So there are two methods to improve the commutation. One is resistance commutation, second one is EMF commutation. Now let us see how to improve the commutation by first method, that is resistance commutation. Okay. In this method of improving commutation, the low resistance copper brushes are replaced by high resistance carbon brushes. Okay, so usually, so for in the previous class, I told you that brushes are made up of some copper-like material. So now, if I compare the material like copper and what is that, carbon, now you tell me which material will be having high resistance, whether it is copper or carbon. Copper means it is a good conductor of electricity. What about carbon?
High resistance, sir.
Overconductor.
It is going to have high resistance. Copper is going to, sorry, carbon is going to have high resistance, whereas copper is going to have very less amount of resistance. Just to remember this concept. So here we are using the concept of high resistance value. Okay. From the figure 1, it can be seen that current I from coil C. So this is the figure where current, so this is coil C, current through the coil C is what here? I. Okay. Coil C when passing through commutator segment B, so this is my commutator segment B, okay, has two parallel paths. It is having two parallel paths. When current is passing, it is having two parallel paths. One path is what? This current I that can directly flow to the commutator segment B, or it can follow the path of coil B, then to segment A. So it is having the choice of two paths here. Directly it can flow to the commutator segment B, then to the brush, or else it can choose path of through coil B, then to segment copper segment A, that is segment A, then directly to the brush. Now in the concept of that is at the end of commutation, we have observed some spark here. If you refer back to the figure.e of the earlier class, at the end of commutation, we are observing some spark here. Yes or no? Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay. One is straight from, so let us discuss about the path here, how the current is going to travel. One is straight from B. One is straight from B means this segment B to the brush. Directly, current of the coil C, I, that is directly flowing through segment B, then to the brush. This is the first path. While the other is through short-circuited coil B. So this coil B is undergoing commutation, and this coil will be shorted here. Okay. So it will travel through the short-circuited coil B and then to the segment A and then to the brush. So there are two paths. So this is path number 1 and this is path number 2. Right. By using low resistance copper brush, the current will not prefer second path as it will prefer first low resistance path. So now you can see here the logic is, by using low resistance copper brush, the current will not prefer second path. So if I use copper brush here, then what happens? For copper means it is having very less resistance. So directly current, it will follow this path itself. What it will do? It will directly follow this path only, but whereas it is not going to travel through short-circuited coil B, then to the segment A, then to the brush. This is what we have seen. Okay, by using low resistance copper brush, the current will not prefer second path. Second path means through the short-circuited coil B, then to the segment A, and then to the brush. Okay, by using low resistance copper path, that is what it is not going to refer to the second path. Okay, then when carbon brushes having comparatively high resistance are used. So if in place of carbon copper brush, if I use carbon brush having comparatively high resistance are used, then current I through coil C will select the second path, as resistance of first path will be increasing due to decrease in contact of area B. So try to understand this statement clearly. When carbon brushes having comparatively high resistance are used, then current I through coil C will select the second path, as resistance of first path will be increasing due to decrease in contact area of B with brush, and resistance R2 of second path will be decreasing due to increase in contact area of A with brush. So try to understand here. The logic is very simple. Now here what we are doing is we are going to replace copper brushes by copper segments by what is that? Carbon. Okay, now we are going to replace this copper brushes by carbon brushes. So now at the end of commutation, this brush will be slowly, it will be moving in this direction. It will be moving in this direction. It will be following this direction, yes or no? So as and when this brush will be moving by at this side, so where brush will settle more? It will settle more on segment A, and it will settle less on segment B, yes or no? Do you agree? If I move the brush in this direction, then coverage of brush will be less with path B, and it will be having more contact area with the path that is segment A. So we know the well-known equation. Resistance R is given by what? R is equal to rho L by what? A. Yes or no? Do you know this formula? Resistance R is equal to resistivity rho L by A. So now here you can see that as this brush contact, it is having less area with the B, then area is decreasing here. Try to understand here. If I move the brush in this direction, so contact area of the brush with respect to segment B is decreasing. So if contact area is decreasing, means what about the resistance? How it is related?
Inversely proportional.
Inversely proportional. So here, as area, contact area of the brush with respect to segment is decreasing, then proportionally resistance is increasing. Resistance is increasing means which type of resistance is increasing here? What is the resistance of this area? That resistance is R1. So this is having resistance R1. So resistance R1 is increasing. So resistance R1 is increasing means, is it first path or second path?
First path, sir.
It is first path. So first path resistance is increasing. So first path resistance is increasing here. But whereas here at the other side, here area is increasing. So now on the other side, area is, if I consider brush position now on having more contact area with the segment A, then at this period of time, here contact area is increasing. On the other side, contact area with respect to segment A, with respect to this segment A, here contact area is increasing. If contact area is increasing, means what about resistance? Resistance will be decreasing. So now here resistance will be decreasing. So what is the type of resistance you are observing here? Here the resistance is R2. Here the resistance is R2. So now since resistance R1 is high and resistance R2 is very low, so we know very well that always current try to choose very least resistive path, very least resistance path, yes or no? So which is the least resistance path here? Whether is it R1 or R2?
R2.
R2 is the least resistance path. So now here current I through the coil C, instead of directly flowing through the coil segment B to the brush, now it will follow the second path, R2 path, which is having least resistance. So what it will do, it will flow through the segment, what is that? Coil segment, the commutator segment coil B to the segment A, and then to the brush. Okay, so by the time it is going to travel to segment coil B, then to the segment A, and then to the brush, then automatically whatever spark will be there, that spark will be quenched here. Is it clear? If it is directly following this path because of carbon brush, okay, because of carbon brush, what is going to happen? Spark will take place because here resistance will be less and here resistance will be more. So if the brush is made up of copper, then here resistance will be less. So for that sake, at the end of commutation, direct current directly flowing to through this segment B, then to the brush. Because of that, we are observing some spark here. So to avoid that spark, what we are doing is that we are diverting the flow of current. Instead of it is going to follow the resistance R1 path, we are allowing that to flow to the resistance R2. So to divert the current direction from R1 to R2, replace the copper brush by carbon brush. So if I use carbon brush, then carbon brush, it is characterized by high resistance, and make use of the formula, that is R is equal to rho L by A. So as and when brush will be moving in this direction, then contact area of brush with respect to segment will be less, then automatically resistance will be high. That resistance is nothing but R1. So resistance R1 is high. So here it is, carbon is characterized by high resistance path. Whereas on the other side, resistance R2 is less. Because of that, current now it will choose second path. So now you can see that instead of traveling the current from first path R1, now it will follow the second path R2. So here, by allowing the current to follow the path through coil B, then to segment A, so by this time the arc is completely quenched here. Spark is completely disappeared. Is it clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, all of you? So simply we are using the concept of R is equal to rho L by A. So as area decreases, resistance increases. So here area, contact area of brush with respect to segment decreases, because of that resistance increases. But on the other side, there what happens? Contact area increases, then resistance decreases. Resistance decreases means R2 is having less resistance in comparison with the R1, and we know that current always chooses least resistance path, and here least resistance path is R2. So now current, instead of traveling from I to the segment B to the brush, now it will travel from the short circuited coil B, then to the segment A, then to the brush, and by that time spark will be completely quenched. Is it clear? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So this is all about resistance commutation. Now we will see the next type of the concept, that is, before going to the next concept, there are also some advantages and disadvantages of resistance commutation. Let us see here. Advantages of resistance commutation are, what are its advantages? First one, up to some degree they are self lubricating and polish the commutator. So it is going to provide some lubrication for the commutator. So brush, when it is going to glide over the commutator, it is going to provide some lubrication facility. Second one is, if sparking occurs, damage to the commutator will be less as compared to when copper brushes are used. So by chance, if there is any spark, even after using carbon brush, that spark, it is not having that much intensity in comparison with the copper brush. So damage to the commutator will be very less if I use brushes made up of carbon. But if we use brushes made up of copper, then spark will be more, then temperature will be more, then that temperature, which will give rise to the rise in the temperature, will cause damage to the commutator. So these are the advantages. Advantage is, first one is, it is going to provide self lubrication and polish the commutator, and if sparking is going to take place, then it is not going to cause that much damage to the commutator in comparison with the copper brushes. So these are the advantages. Then coming to the disadvantages. Disadvantages are, first one, there is a loss of approximately 2 volts due to high contact resistance. Hence, this is not used in small machines. So you can there is almost a drop of 2 volts. So for that sake, we are not using this type of carbon brushes in case of small machines, because small machines means what? Output will be very less there. So since output itself is less, and if we are going to have further drop in the voltage, then it is not good thing. Okay, then second one, if
Sir,
carbon brush, yes,
sir, as you told, the current follows the path of low resistance. Then how come 2 volts loss will be occurs due to high contact resistance?
resistance means always it is going to have what, V into I. Drop means what, voltage is equal to I into R, not power. Voltage is equal to I into R. So since carbon brushes, it is having high resistance, current is almost constant, but resistance is more. So if resistance is more, then what about the voltage drop? V is equal to what? V is equal to drop, voltage drop. V is equal to I into R. Yes or no? If
Yes, sir.
I is constant and carbon brush is having high resistance. If resistance is high, then automatically voltage drop is also high, and that voltage drop, it will be around 2 volts. And if such kind of voltage drop is observed, then it is not good to be used for this type of machine. Small machines, small rated machines, it is useful only for high rating machines. That is the meaning. Then if carbon brushes are used, the commutator is required to be made somewhat larger for heat dissipation without rising temperature, which is not necessary for copper brushes. So see here, copper, it is having very less resistance, but whereas carbon, it is having very high resistance. So always remember, high resistance means it is going to give rise to high copper losses. Copper losses means I square into R losses. So I square R losses are nothing but what? Physically, it will appear in the form of what?
Heat.
It will appear in the form of heat. Yes or no? So since if I use what is that? Carbon brushes, then resistance will be more, then I square R losses will be more, then proportionally huge temperature will be developed inside the machine. So to dissipate that heat, some large brush holders we have to use. So that brush holder size is going to be increased. But if I use copper brushes, then copper losses will be less, then less amount of the heat will be developed and the brush holder size can be reduced. But here, if the brushes are made up of carbon, then due to large copper losses, heat developed will be more. Because of that, brush holder size is going to be increased. That is the meaning. This is a drawback here. Then third is what? Larger brush holders are required due to lower current density. So here current density will be very low. Because of that, you need to have large brush holder. So these are all advantages and disadvantages of resistance commutation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now we will move to the next concept. That is the second method of improving commutation is what here? EMF commutation. EMF commutation means, you can see here how we are going to, again in the EMF commutation there are two methods. One is by giving brush shift and second one is by making use of interpoles. So here EMF commutation, as I told you, at the end of commutation you are going to observe some spark due to induced EMF, self-induced EMF. Yes or no? So that self-induced EMF, whatever it is developed, that voltage I have to reduce it now. Suppose if there is 5 volt, then I should apply minus 5 volt by some external means. So plus 5 minus 5, then the net effect will be 0. So that spark is not going to be observed. So that commutation is going to take place within the stipulated period of time. So these are the requirements for having ideal commutation, right? So now how to reduce that voltage? That is the second practical method, that is EMF commutation. Let us see here. The method in which reactance voltage produced is neutralized by reversing EMF in short-circuited coil is called EMF commutation. So here what we are doing is that already some voltage is present because of reactance voltage. So opposite to that voltage, we are going to induce some other voltage in the same short-circuited coil. Suppose if 5 volt is induced, then by some external means we are going to apply some minus 5 volts. So plus 5 minus 5, net effect will be 0. But how to apply this reverse voltage to the short-circuited coil which is undergoing commutation? There are some tricks here. So those tricks are nothing but the methods. Okay. If the value of this reversing EMF is made equal to reactance voltage, the effect of the reactance voltage will be completely nullified, so that there will be fast reversal of the current, which will give sparkless commutation. Okay, so already, if as I told you, if 5 volt is there, I will inject -5, so +5 -5 completely 0 voltage means the commutation will take place immediately and there is no any spark. And if there is no any spark at the time of commutation, then that process we call it as sparkless commutation. There are two ways of improving EMF commutation. First one is what? By giving a forward lead to the brushes. Second one is by using interpoles. Okay, so now let us see how that EMF commutation is facilitated by making use of by giving the forward lead to the brushes. First one is giving brush shift. If the brushes are shifted forward or backward depending on generator or motor, so by some external means we are going to push the brush. Either we are going to move it forward or we are going to move it backward. If it is machine is acting as a generator, then we are moving in forward direction. If the machine is behaving as a or operating as a motor, then we are going to move the brush in the backward direction. So what happens if we move the brush forward or backward depending upon whether it is behaving as a generator or motor? Let us see here. A little beyond to the magnetic neutral axis. So brush, we are going to push it little beyond to the MNA. Suppose this is my MNA. This is MNA. So now in earlier brush, this is my armature and these are the brush positions. So now you tell me this is MNA. MNA stands for what?
Magnetic neutral axis.
Magnetic neutral axis. So now what we have to do is that we have to shift the brushes. So shift the brushes means what? So now you have to shift the brush position to this one by some angle with respect to MNA. So earlier brush which was resting on this position in line with the MNA. Now if I give some forward lead, if it is going to behave as a generator, then you have to move it in clockwise direction. In this way I have to apply. If it is behaving as a motor, then the brush, it has to be rotated in the other way, that is anti-clockwise direction. So by moving the brush position forward or backward with respect to MNA position, then what happens is that some of the conductors, now they will be coming under the influence of the opposite pole. If earlier it is in the north pole, means some of the armature conductors, now they will come under the influence of south pole. So because of that, automatically some of the voltage gets reversed. Yes or no? Earlier, if here I am having north pole and here I am having south pole, okay, earlier the conductors which are having under the influence of north pole, if I use some brush shift from north, it is going to enter into the south. So because of that, whichever the coils which are under the influence of the north pole, some of the coils, they will enter into the south pole. Because of that, automatically voltage will be reversed now. Yes or no? Because if here it is having +2 volts, means by the time it come under the influence of the south pole, polarity of the voltage changes from +2, it will become -2. So that automatically on its own the voltage gets nullified. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So but giving this kind of the forward or backward shift, it is not that much practical, we are saying. You can see it. If the brushes are shifted forward or backward depending upon generator or motor a little beyond to magnetic neutral axis, the short circuited coil will come under the influence of the main pole of opposite polarity. Opposite polarity means if earlier it is under the influence of north pole, now it will enter into the south pole. Okay. This will partly neutralize the reactance voltage, which will help in the quick reversal current. This method is rarely used in practice as it will lead to many practical difficulties. So orally we are seeing we are going to push the brushes to the forward or backward path, but it is not that much easy to push it. So it is going to have certain difficulties. So this is all about what is that EMF commutation by making use of brush shift. But this is not that much feasible method. It is not that much easy method. So instead of giving brush shift method, we are popularly using for another method which we call it as interpoles. So now let us see what these interpoles are initially. So this is the shaft, this is the armature, and this is the air gap, right? So here this is north pole. North pole is nothing but main pole. So this is south pole, and that too this is also main pole only. Can you see all of you? Is it visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
So whatever this hatching portion I have shown with the blue color lines, these are nothing but what? North pole and south pole, and these are the main poles. So in between north and south pole, which are nothing but the main poles, here we are going to place what? The extra poles, which we call it as interpoles. So this portion, can you see here? This circular portion, this circular portion, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So these poles, these vertical poles, they are nothing but what? They are nothing but interpoles. Is it clear? Yes.
Yes, sir. Clear.
So these are the interpoles, are the one which will be placed in between main poles. So now after placing the interpoles in between the main poles, how it is going to balance the voltage, or how it is going to nullify the reactance voltage, that one we can see here. So this is the simple diagram. This is just simple diagram, but in real how it will be connected you can see here. So this is the main pole, that is one will be north pole, another will be south pole, and in between main poles we are going to place what? We are going to place what? This is nothing but, what is this?
Interpoles.
Interpoles. So here interpoles will be placed in between two main poles. So now here the polarity on the interpoles will be same as that of the armature. So this is my armature, and you can see that the conductors, armature conductors coming under the influence of the south pole, they are having negative charge, whereas conductors coming under the influence of the north pole, they are having positive charge, right? So here we are going to wound armature, some thick gauge wire on the interpoles, and they will be connected in series with the armature. Are you getting my point? So here we will be taking some wire onto this. Wait a minute. So here we are going to make use of some wire. So some thick gauge wire, these are the interpole windings, and they will be connected in series with the armature. Similarly on the other side, in this way it will be connected. So all together the armature, the interpole windings, they will be connected in series with the armature windings, so that whatever polarity will be there on the armature winding, the same polarity will be there on the interpole winding also. So if it is going to act as a generator, then it will be moved in this direction. If it is going to act, machine is going to act as a motor, then it will be moved in the reverse direction. So whenever some voltage will be induced in these armature conductors, that is self-induced conductors, then the whatever the polarity will be there on the poles, it will be having same polarity. So because of that, the complete reactance voltage gets nullified here, because of the interpole, what is that, voltage, because of the interpole voltage which is having same as that of the armature winding. So here completely the reactance voltage gets nullified because of same polarity, right? So you can see that these interpoles, it is not only going to nullify the reactance voltage, the other function of interpole is it is going to improve the armature reaction also. So in the armature reaction, we have seen there are two components of armature reaction. Which are those? Which are those? So this is my main field. This is my FF, that is flux due to main field winding, and this is armature reaction component. FAR. This FAR is having how many components? Two components. One is cross magnetizing. One is this is demagnetizing. Demagnetizing means it will be completely opposing to the FF. and this is my cross magnetizing component. Cross magnetizing means Fc. So then the resultant FD, the demagnetizing effect and cross magnetizing effect resultant is armature reaction. And see that this cross magnetizing effect, which is the component of the armature reaction, this can be nullified by making use of interpoles. So if I check the flux given by these interpole windings, so what is the direction of the what is that flux given by the interpole winding? It is nothing but what? It is moving in the upward direction. Yes or no? So check the direction. So here FF is nothing but, can you see this, all of you? This direction? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
FF stands for flux given by the main field winding. This FC is nothing but the cross magnetizing component of armature reaction, which we should not have. This I don't want. And this upward direction, what is this upward direction flux? This MMF is nothing but denoted as Fi. Fi is nothing but flux given by the interpole winding. So it's the direction of interpole winding, flux given by the interpole winding and cross magnetizing. How they are? They are opposing to each other. Yes or no? If cross magnetizing component is in downward direction, then flux given by the interpole winding is in the upward direction. So one will oppose to the other. Because of that, your cross magnetizing component will be what? Is it not getting cancelled?
Yes, sir.
So because of the flux given by the interpole winding, your cross magnetizing component of the armature reaction getting cancelled. So armature reaction can also be improved by making use of the interpole. So here interpole, it is not only meant for improving the commutation, it is also going to improve the armature reaction also. It is also going to avoid the armature reaction also. How? You can see here the direction of the flux given by the interpole winding is in the upward direction, whereas direction of the cross magnetizing component of the armature reaction is downward direction. So both will cancel to each other. So by this, how you can also reduce the armature reaction effect by making use of interpole. So interpole, it is not only going to induce the it is not only going to reduce the reactance voltage at the end of the commutation, it is also going to improve the armature reaction, thereby cancelling the cross magnetizing component, because cross magnetizing component direction is in downward direction, whereas interpole flux direction is in the upward direction. So this can be easily cancelled by Fi. Fc is getting cancelled by Fi. Then you are left out with main component, that is Ff. Is it clear? So interpole does dual function. Dual function means it is going to do two functions. So what it will do? It is going to improve the commutation, and it is going to avoid the armature reaction. But see that armature reaction, whatever you have discussed earlier, this armature reaction cannot be completely nullified by interpoles. Right? Suppose this is the armature, means in the pole arc region, armature reaction cannot be balanced. So if I want to balance the armature reaction effect in the pole arc region, then here what type of winding we are using? In the last class I told you, we are using compensating winding. Right, so compensating winding will take care of the armature reaction which will take place in the pole arc region, but whereas the armature reaction which will take place at the MNA position, that is brush position, there interpoles will take care of the armature winding armature reaction effect. So altogether the 360-degree armature reaction effect, if I want to cancel it, then I should have both compensating winding as well as interpoles. Interpoles will take care of the armature reaction along the MNA or the brush along the MNA, but whereas your the rest of the polar region armature reaction effect will be taken care by the compensating winding. So this is all about interpoles. So interpoles, firstly it is going to balance to the, what is that, voltage by improving the commutation, and then secondly what it will do, it is going to improve the armature reaction. It is going to reduce the armature reaction. How it is going to reduce? Because direction of the flux given by the interpole winding, it is in the upward direction, whereas direction of the armature reaction component, that is cross magnetizing component Fc, is in downward direction. So upward direction, downward direction, both will cancel to each other. Because of that, your armature reaction gets decreased. So this is how armature reaction can be balanced. It is not balanced simply by interpole. Along with interpole, I should also make use of compensating winding also. I hope you have studied for compensating winding in the last class. Have you attended that compensating winding concept in the last class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that compensating winding, how it will be connected? Here, interpole winding, it will be connected in series with the armature, but whereas compensating winding coils, it will be connected in series opposition with the armature. Series opposition means what? If current flows in the armature in this direction means, whereas current flowing in the compensating winding will be in opposite direction. So here if it is 2 volts means here it will be minus 2 volts. So plus 2 minus 2, completely armature reaction gets balanced only in the polar equation. But what about armature reaction which is taking place along the MNA? So to take care of the armature reaction along MNA, there we are going to make use of interpoles. So interpoles, it is not only going to improve the commutation, it is also going to reduce the armature reaction effect also. So in the examination, you may get the question like, explain the methods for improving armature, explain the methods for improving commutation. So if they ask the general question, then you need to explain for resistance commutation, EMF commutation, then but when it comes to the resistance commutation, you need to explain for these all things, methods for improving commutation, that is resistance commutation, this diagram. Followed by that, you need to write advantages, disadvantages. Then coming to the other method, that is EMF commutation. Again, in that EMF commutation, there are two methods: giving brush shift, simply this much information, then by making use of interpoles. So now when it comes to the interpoles, these interpoles not only going to improve the commutation, that is also going to decrease the armature reaction also. Is it clear, all of you? This is a theory kind of question what you may get in the final exam. Is it clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.